You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogdon.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogdon. You know, it is all about the life that you want. For me, that's why I'm in business. That's why I do the things that I do, because I want to build the business I need so I can live the life that I want. And I think most of our listeners want to do the same thing. That's why you are here. The question is, how do we do that? How do we get more of what we want? And everyone has different strategies, different approaches for achieving that. And when you consider everyone's opinion, it can really become overwhelming. Where do I start? What do I do? What if, just imagine, you had a great big easy button, a simple formula to help you get more of everything you want in life, in your business, in your relationships, in your finances, everything and anything. Today's guest is a master at being able to help people to do this more effectively. I'm speaking with Jen Groover. She has been tagged by Success Magazine as a one-woman brand, a creativity and innovation guru, a leading serial entrepreneur by Entrepreneur Magazine, and ranked number 8 by SAP in the top 51 influencers of human potential. She was recently nominated for Motivational Speaker of the Year 2019 from Speakercon. She is a UN delegate to the Global Entrepreneurs Council. Most of all, and most relevant to our audience and what we are talking about today, she's a successful serial entrepreneur, author, performance coach, retired national-level fitness competitor, and she is a highly sought-after global speaker and trainer. She's been at this for a long time, 20 years. That's long to me. I've been at it that long. But she is going to help us to really dial this in, especially with her new book coming out this fall, The More Method, the simple formula to get more of everything you desire in life. Jen Groover, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. You haven't met 5-year-old motivational speakers?
Well, I've met some who have tried, but they haven't really made enough of a mess to turn it into a message yet.
Right. Correct. I like to joke. I started at 5. That would then make me 25, right? That's my imaginary age to stay younger.
Yeah. And you get more experience, but you never age. So isn't that super? Maybe that's what we should be talking about.
Exactly.
How do you pull that off? Well, you are a very busy person. I've just named just a few of the accolades only because time doesn't permit us to go down your whole list of credentials and experience, but it's very impressive. Tell us a little bit about how you got started doing this. What's your story?
So really the backstory is most important in the conversation today and focusing on, my next book and the relevancy to your audience as entrepreneurs. But I had a highly dysfunctional childhood and quite a bit of trauma. And I had really good innate survival skills, being that I would escape in my imagination, which is part of how I became an entrepreneur. I would escape my reality into investing in my friendships and being out at my house as much as possible. And I looked towards other people's families that were really intact. I didn't seek that out. I guess subconsciously I did, because every single one of my best friends had these incredible intact families. And it became my ideology of what my normal would look like in the future. So when I went to college, I studied psychology and education. And I always joke that it's a really interesting classroom conversations because most people there at least in my classes, studying psychology also had pretty dysfunctional childhoods. So we were all there trying to make sense of it. Right after college, I became a fitness expert. While I was in college, I started a group fitness program, my first real entrepreneurial foray, but I didn't really know that I was doing that. I was just wanting to create a space where everyone could work out with me to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And somehow it turned into a business. So, and after college, I had gotten this taste of this really passionate sense of doing something that you love. And when you get that clarity, it's really hard to ever go back and not live like that. And luckily I got that taste at a very young age, and decided I was going to go in the fitness industry, which is a very young industry at the time. And I opened up a gym in Wilmington, Delaware, and had no idea what I was doing, like most entrepreneurs. And I was just really following my passion and figuring out along the way. And I joke that being an entrepreneur back then, people just thought you weren't really employable. It wasn't the cool thing that it is today.
Yeah, you can't get a job, so you start a business, and that's the mindset, right?
Totally. People were like, could you not get a job? And I was like, why want a job? I didn't want a job. The thought of a job was always horrific to me. The belief that you could only grow as fast as somebody else told you could grow was so nauseating to me at a very young age. And so all of these elements came together to create my entrepreneurial journey as a fitness expert at first. And I really tapped into knowing my purpose was inspiring other people's greatness. And so while fitness company was a vehicle, I became a national level fitness competitor, and really on the stage during that whole explosion of the fitness industry in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. And everything just kind of just snowballed. One skill set built on the next. And I knew that whatever the vehicle was, the underlying element of everything that I was passionate about and really good at innately was helping people maximize their potential and extracting from them or magnifying for them their greatness. And I had a couple of really incredible mindset trainers along the way, which really helped me up level who I was, because they helped me break all the beliefs that break down and rebuild new beliefs of all these beliefs that were programmed in my childhood that would have helped me. I mean, would have hurt me if I didn't identify them early on like I did. So
Sure.
Every time I would learn something new, I'd want to turn around and teach people. And that's really how it all kind of came to where we are today.
Well, you are a prolific speaker. Just looking at your calendar, you're all over the place speaking. You are launching your second book this fall, The More Method, the simple formula to get more of everything you desire in life. And based on the description, it sounds like you have really taken a holistic approach, because it's not just about your mindset. It's your beliefs, it's your physiological state, all the things that you are helping people to get a better grasp of, understanding the power of perspectives, elevating their relationships, understanding the expansiveness of their potential in all aspects of life. Those are not my words. Those are your words. Tell us a little bit more about how this works, and what is the More Method all about, and how does it take that holistic approach that is going to help people get the result that they want?
Right. So holistic success to me is the ultimate success, because it's the type of success where you're not just thriving in an achievement status with a certain title or a certain amount of money in your bank account, but you're holistically successful in your energy, your mental clarity, how you're just loving life and grateful for life, and your relationships are nourishing and fulfilling, and everything just kind of working. And even if not everything is working at its ultimate level, the majority of things are. And what we've been conditioned in our society to believe that if you achieve a success with a title and acquiring of tons of material items and a certain amount of money in your bank account, you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. That's all you need. And the truth is, I watched a lot of people who were really, really successful from that standpoint, but their relationships were horrific or always struggling. Their health would be struggling all the time because they were ignoring their own self-care. And at some point they'd wake up in life and say, I have all this and I'm still not happy. I have all this and I still don't feel loved like I thought I would. And so that was a lot of inspiration for me to really create this holistic success strategy. And my background is diverse. So I mentioned my degrees in psychology and education, but my continued education was in exercise physiology and nutrition. And then I continued to study more quantum physics, metaphysics, neuroscience, and Buddhism. And so I would identify these best of practices from these different disciplines to help somebody optimize who they really were. Because I can't just eat right and be my best self. I can't just, have a great, understanding of psychology and be my best version of self. I can't just understand spirituality and be my best version of self. There's multiple components to add to who we really are.
That's right.
And it can be very complex when you start to go into that science jargon, which is not how I approach my speaking engagements at all. I always, tell stories and try to bring it down to a level that anyone at any stage of life is getting a lot out of. And really that was what I tasked myself at in creating this book is how do I take these 20 plus years of teaching human potential with all of these disciplines that I've studied and create a simplified formula, methodology that anyone at any stage could get more of everything they desire in life within about 45 minutes of learning from me. And obviously the more they learn, the better, but that was my goal. How can I change someone's life in 45 minutes? Because that's pretty much how long a keynote is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's really powerful when you consider that so many people are investing in self-help, but it for too many, it becomes shelf help. And maybe you've heard that. We buy the self-help stuff, we put it on the shelf and it becomes shelf help. We never implement it. We never execute it. And I think it's because we tend to be overwhelmed. Like I said in the opening, all the different strategies, all the different methodologies out there. When we are confused, it's hard to be confident. And so then the task becomes exactly what you're doing. How do I take all of this and boil it down to something that is very simple, that is going to help people get from where they are to where they want to be in a way that is going to be holistic, that's going to, not just overemphasize one area at the expense of another, but is going to help them be holistic and well-rounded and really get what they want, but keep it simple. And to do that in 45 minutes, that sounds like a quite a challenge.
Yeah. It was something I was always introspective on within myself of how do I keep simplifying this? Because emotional intelligence alone, which is my favorite thing to teach, is a ongoing life process. It's a really deep topic and it's very layered. And so that alone could really overwhelm people. Like you said, overwhelm. When people are overwhelmed, they shut down, they withdraw. And so one night before bed, I kept thinking about this. And I said to myself, which is, by the way, true, everyone listening, a really powerful strategy when you're striving for clarity on something and you can't seem to get it, to ask yourself this before bed is really powerful, because what happens is you're asking yourself in your conscious mind, but once you fall asleep, your subconscious mind can bring a lot of these answers and solutions to light that you couldn't tap into in your conscious state. So I asked myself before bed this one night, what am I really doing here? What is the number one thing that I am providing to everyone that I meet in my life? Every time I speak, what's the number one thing that I'm doing? And it hit me that I'm adding more. I'm teaching them how to get more of everything good in their lives. That's the ultimate goal for everyone, right? To learn how to get more of everything we desire.
Yeah.
And so this clarity came to me at about 3:00 in the morning. The MORE method. This is the MORE method, and the acronym of the MORE method came to me as well in complete clarity, like a download from above. And I called my publisher the next day and I was like, I have it. There's no way it's not going to succeed because it came to me in such a divine way. And it's been so powerful. You know, the book is launching right now, but I've been doing this as a keynote for the past year, as well as the corporate trainings. And it has been so powerful to see how many people's lives transform so quickly. You know, there's short-term things in here, you know, biohacks and mind hacks. And then there's some long-term things that I'm planting seeds for moving from this state of gaining wisdom to leading to somebody's transformational journey. And so there's this kind of short-term gain and then this long-term gain that people can receive from this information. And they can look at the framework. I always say to people in my keynotes, take pictures of these slides because they're your framework to keep going back to say to yourself, am I being mindful of all these aspects of my life? Am I optimizing my body and brain properly? Am I being responsive to life or am I being reactive to life? And am I excelling in all aspects of my life? And that's the acronym of the MORE method. And if you go through that list every day and then, you know, go into the deeper auditing process, as I call it, you could say, okay, you know what? I'm not being mindful of a lot of my beliefs or behaviors right now. Or I'm not taking care of my body and I'm tired all the time. So I'm not as productive and I'm not as patient. Or, you know, I'm reacting to everything and I'm pushing people away instead of being powerful in my emotional control and pausing and reflecting and reframing and then responding. And, you know, am I excelling in all aspects of my life? And a lot of people will say, you know, I'm paying way more attention to work right now than my family or my relationships or my health. And they can get back on track. And the MORE method isn't a path of perfection, but a very conscious approach to course correct quickly when we get off course.
The way you break it down like that, it's so simple. It really is a simple formula. The MORE method, simple formula to get more of everything you desire in life. It has to do with mindfulness, optimization, react or respond, and excelling. And that's just for my quick notes. You go into much more detail with the hacks and the explanations in your book, The MORE Method. How can people reach out to you and find out more about the book and the other things that you have going on?
I am extremely active on social media. So it's my name, Jen Groover, with one N in Jen and two O's in Groover. And Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Those are the three platforms I'm most active on. I take people's questions constantly. I do lives to engage people so that they can learn also how to get more of everything they desire in life.
I love that. And my synopsis did not do justice to your description of this acronym, so I encourage our listeners to check this out. And we will have the link on the Rebelpreneur website as well as jengroover.com. And of course, you can look Jen up on all the social media outlets. She's everywhere. Jen, I know you are busy. You exemplify the mindset and the physical energy that you teach others to have. You exemplify that in Moving and Grooving with Jen. You've got a lot going on and you are in a lot of places. What are a couple of things that you are particularly excited about that you'd like to share with our listeners? Well,
book tour is on the top of the list right now. And it's exciting because, you know, this is something you truly birth. Anyone who's written a book before knows it is a birthing process, incubation and birthing process. So I'm really excited about touring basically from now until next year, all over the world. I just launched an eyewear company, the first ever interchangeable eyewear, where the technology actually allows you to move your lenses, prescription lenses, sunglass lenses, whatever lenses, frame to frame to frame in high fashion frames.
Wow.
Which was a really fun creation. And I have an energy spa that is launching in Philadelphia first, with every intention to franchise it, but it's called Up Level Energy Spa. So a lot of these biohacks that I teach are actually going to be accessible to people when they come in for one of our 45 to 60-minute signature treatments. And they come in feeling sluggish or tired, and they leave feeling revived and energized and ready to take on the world. And lastly, my for all the entrepreneurs here, my one company called Jumpstart Connect is the first ever pop-up store for entrepreneurs, where we curate all the small business services needed under one roof for small business owners to grow, basically addressing services that are traditional, but more so services that are cutting edge, innovative technology platforms, and introducing small business owners into different ways to systematize and leverage their businesses and market their businesses. So our next event is coming up in the Philadelphia area in November. So definitely have a busy fall ahead of me.
It sounds like it. I mean, I think you exemplify that commercial that says we get more done by 5 a.m. than most people get done all day long. So you are definitely bringing it. I feel the passion and the energy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to inspire our listeners. Jen, any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you would like to leave us with?
Yeah, one of the things that I always talk about as I begin the more method presentation that I would like to leave everyone with to start their own process of getting more is first, people have to get clear as to what they want more of, and not be afraid to think about things they really truly desire. And it doesn't have to be the big enormous house or this fancy car. What a lot of people really want more of are the more intrinsic things, more energy, more mental clarity, more fulfilling relationships, more intrinsic happiness. And so getting clear as to those things, a lot of times people want more success, and what they really need is more energy to be more successful, right? So getting clear as to what you really want more of, and then believing that you're worthy and capable of having it. And then removing the beliefs and behaviors that keep blocking you from getting what you want. A lot of the things that we desire, we self-sabotage because we have certain beliefs around those things, whether it's, success or relationships or whatever it is. And then because of those beliefs, there's self-sabotaging behaviors that we consistently do, whether we realize it or not, that keep us in the same pattern, getting the same results. And lastly, once we get clear and believe that we're worthy and capable of having it, and remove the beliefs and behaviors that block us, we need to become intentional creatures every day, becoming intentional about why we're doing what we're doing, how we're doing it, and taking more time to pause and reflect to course correct when getting off course.
Very, very motivational and exciting to hear how you break it down and keep us from going into overwhelm. If we take it step by step, we can get to where we want to be. First step is clarity. Where do you want to go? What is the business that you're trying to build? What is the life that you want to create? I am so thankful, Jen, that you have spent some time with us this afternoon. Jen Groover is a serial entrepreneur, author, performance coach, and retired national level fitness competitor. She has been and still is a highly sought after global speaker and trainer. She is author of the book, The More Method, the simple formula to get more of everything you desire in life. If you want to connect with Jen, you can go to jengroover.com. We'll have that link on the Rebelpreneur website as well. Jen, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today on Rebelpreneur Radio. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogdon. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.